My name is Optimus Prime, and I'm joined, as always, by my illustrious co-host, Primetime Moth. Thank you for joining us for this week's episode, where we reflect on 40 years of Transformers and ask the questions: what are our favourite Transformers toy lines, our favourite Hasbro slash Takara created toys, and our favourite third-party toys? So strap in and enjoy the ride. Hey, Moth.
Hi mate, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It's a good job that we got this intro done in one go. Um,
It didn't
so
take 40 years to do the intro, but it felt like
yeah, yeah.
it.
Uh, so anyway, so this episode we're going to be looking back at the toys themselves and going through our favourites from the whole 40-year period. So we've got quite a lot to cram into quite a small amount of time. So we're going to talk briefly about things because a lot of this stuff we've already covered in the other episodes, but it's just sort of a concise way of sort of summing up 40 entire years worth of amazing toys. So I think we're going to start with the top toy lines. So this is all of the toy lines from the entire 40 years. Which ones are our favourites? Now, if you've been watching this before or listening to us, you'll know that we sort of tend to skip between myself and Moff and do our top five of each. So we're going to keep with that format, and let's go with Mr. Moff first. What was your top five? What's your first one?
I think it can only be one. There can be only one. And it has to be G1. G1 was where I first started, first became aware of Transformers, as was most of people of our age. And although I didn't have that many, I was enthralled by the stuff I had. And it clearly has had such an impact on my life that I still look for, mo my main collection aim is to have modern versions of that G1 toy line. And as much as there are toy lines we're going to talk about, it all comes back to G1.
Um, yeah, I can't agree more. It's a silly thing to say. Top toy lines. If you are somebody who is around at G1 and you were introduced to Transformers through G1, uh, I'd find it very difficult for anybody to turn around and say, "Yeah, but I don't like G1." Regardless of whether or not you think the toys are a bit naff these days, or the cartoon is a bit rubbish, or you don't really enjoy the comic, G1 is still what introduced you to this entire massive thing that is Transformers these
It's the
days.
foundation of the franchise, and
Exactly.
okay, the younger people are going to have come in at other points, but even when they talk about that, people say it's their G1. It just
Yeah,
shows you how important G1 is to the
exactly.
franchise. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I went with the original Twilight, and I did think about the aspect of there are modern versions of of the toys and characters that potentially look better,
Hmm.
but I still think there's a charm that will never be lost from G1 toys. And we talk about it, we've talked about those recently. So G1 in its main original version, and I for the rest of them I kind of tried to stay away from different versions of G1 just because I thought, oh, G1, it's just trying to better or give you a new representation of that. So I think we were both in agreement, and as you say, I think most people are going to be that with their first choice. And it might not be, they're not the most articulated, they're not the most screen accurate, but it has to be the most
Yeah.
important toy line in my opinion for many of us.
I mean, we'll just skip over my first one because it's exactly the same one. So I think we've covered all of that. So we go straight on to your second favorite top line.
Yeah,
Top
and I
top
think through the rest of them we do differentiate
Yeah.
to an extent. So I think it's good to kind of now let's go through the rest. So my next one, I'm going to go with the original Robots in Disguise. Um, I for the longest time have championed this as being a best of kind of series. Like,
Mm.
so it took some of the best toys of G1, of G2, of Beast Wars, and made them kind of better and funkier paint jobs. Brave Max. Fort Max is an amazing toy, and I'm sure I'll come up in one of our points. But the Brave Max colours of it, I always said it was like a kind of G2 version of Brave Max, but of Fort Max. It's just a great toy. I really enjoy the toy line. And then it brings in original toys that are amazing. Like the RID Optimus Prime is one of my absolute favorite Optimus Primes. The Ultra Magnus is fantastic. The way they combine is brilliant. So I just a fantastic toy line, and a really good way to, after Beast Wars, bring it back to the kind of robots in disguise. So really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, it is an amazing toy line. I mean, obviously, car robots in Japan,
Yeah.
but as you say, it's undeniably a best of in a lot of ways because it has toys from so many different ranges and lines and years worth of stuff. Um, and it's the first time that's happened in anything. Obviously, there's a smaller number of different lines that they can visit, but yeah, and the original figures, even though there were only a few of them really in that
Yeah.
actual entire line, it was mostly the Autobot cars and Prime and
And
Ultra Magnus and
and
Megatron,
Megatron. I think
and
Megatron,
that
the
was
most craziest Megatron toy there
absolutely
is. Like,
bonkers Megatron. That I love it. But yeah, that was pretty much all there was of new molds. The rest of it was borrowed from Beast Wars and G1 and whatever else. Yeah, great choice there. My second choice is my favorite cartoon and my favorite, well, second favorite toy line, and that's Prime. Um, there's some absolutely stonking figures in there. They had some really nice representations of the characters on screen, some really fun transformations, some really great gimmicks as well on some of the figures. Those weaponizers that sort of moved out and all lit up and everything else, but didn't stay deployed, which is a bit annoying. But and then moving into Beast Hunters with the weird Mad Max takes on the characters and stuff like that. That it's just a really fun line and some really great figures. And actually, their version of Wheeljack, the Wheeljack in that line
oh,
is
it's
such an
one of the best toys ever.
amazing.
That
Honestly,
is, agree.
in fact, I probably should have stuck it in one of my top tens, but I didn't. Anyway, yeah. So Prime for me is my second favorite toy line.
Yeah, Prime didn't make it in my top five. If I did a top six, it'd have been sixth. It was I was fighting to put it to put it out. It was kind of tough, but I didn't put it in. Right, move on to my next one.
Oh, yep, go for it.
So our number threes are kind of similar, but
Very
I
similar.
went with a specific part. So we've went Beast Wars, but I went with the Transmetal ones mainly because that was at the point where I first got proper into collecting as an adult. Or as an adult, I was still a teenager at university in Greater Glasgow, and I remember seeing. I'd love to tell you what first Transmetal was. I don't remember, and just being like, "These are awesome." The chrome on them, the having a bit of vehicle mode, the rub signs being back. It just hit the right point for me, and I still love the Transmetal toys. I've got a complete collection of them, and I absolutely adore them. So that was so. Beast Wars is great. That Transmetal era part of it is just the best part of it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just go on to my next one because it's Beast Wars as a whole. Was I was feeling greedy. I thought I'd go for all of Beast Wars. So encompasses Trax Metals, obviously. The original line when it came out, I remember seeing it in the shops and thinking, "This is weird and dumb, and I don't like it." And then immediately changing my mind. I can't remember who my first Beast Wars figure was. It wasn't Primal. I got Primal and Megatron a little bit further down the line, and I never picked up the Megatron and Prime 2 pack, the Bat and
Yeah, yeah.
Alligator, because that's the first thing I saw, and I was like, I don't like it. I think probably the first one might have been Cybershark, who's a really just a fun figure. But yeah, Beast Wars, the cartoon, the continuation of the G1 storyline, everything about Beast Wars, I just really like it, and it grew on me so much and so quickly, and I ended up getting the vast majority of the first few ranges, all the Transmetal stuff, and Transmetals 2 got a little bit more difficult to get hold of. But yeah, completely. Beast Wars, great line.
And then my next one is Robots of Disguise again, but this time the 2015 version. Kind of similar to Transmetal stuff. It's about the what it meant to me at the time. Robots of Disguise 2015 was the first show and series I watched with my eldest, and we properly hunted down the toys together. But that doesn't take away from the fact that some of the toys in that range are outstanding. Like you said with Prime Wheeljack, I'll throw in the RID Warrior Class Drift as being one of my absolute favourite Transformer toys of all time. Just brilliant. So real standout. And actually, a lot of the toys in that kind of Warrior Class were really, really good. So a wee bit of the it's me and Jamie collecting, but actually it's a great toy line at the same time.
Yeah, no, it's as I said before, it's not a cartoon that I've been particularly bothered to watch, and I didn't like some of the designs initially. I think it was because I liked Prime so much, and this is a continuation
Yeah.
of Prime, but was so different. I didn't like a lot of it, but the toys that I had got hold of over the time, I liked the version of Optimus Prime. He's very leggy. I kind of quite dig that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I've had the Bumblebee and I've had a couple of others. And the Jazz is actually a really smashing toy. So yeah, yeah, it's a good choice in retrospect. I didn't like it at the time. My next pick is fairly all-encompassing in a lot of ways, in that it is Takara Masterpiece, which is a line that's been going for oh, quite a few years now. What, 15 years?
Yeah.
No, 20 years. Because
No,
it
no,
was,
20 years, 20
yeah,
years.
20 years
The
anniversary of Optimus Prime.
60 official releases before it
Yeah,
got ditched.
absolutely. Yeah, and okay, a lot of them are repaints, and they sort of changed up how Masterpiece is
Yeah.
over the time a few times. But as an idea and as a line in itself, it's just been amazing, and it's had so much of an impact and so much influence over third party. A lot of the third party stuff wouldn't exist in the way that it does because they wouldn't have had a Masterpiece line to
Yeah.
sort of emulate and improve upon. And there's some absolutely incredible toys in that line. Um, and yeah, I really like it, and it's definitely in my top five. Yours?
No, another really strong one. And that change to proper collector, high-end collector
Mm.
focus, just showed you where the possibilities were of the fandom, and it's a line that's going strong and has been rebranded, but is continuing with some absolute stellars. So bright. Okay, so my last one then for the top toy lines is the one I think has the best screen to toy conversion, and that is animated. I don't think there's any of the toy lines we've had in the 40 years which has had toys that genuinely look, they've just popped off the screen. They just look absolutely amazing. You know, the animated Blur was always one of my absolute favorites because it just looks so good. There's so many of them, so many, some really clever transformations, some really cool gimmicks in them. It was a great fun toy line to get at the time. And then, you know, I've always had some form of animated on my desk, on my collection, on display since because it's just so good.
Yeah, I said about Item Anime before. Again, it's a show that I didn't like the look of, and I didn't like the first few episodes I watched originally, but I did like the toys. I picked up toys fairly early on. Not many of them, and not a complete collection by any means. But figures like the Grimlock, absolutely love that toy. Such a nice, fun-looking toy. And a few others. The Dinobots are the ones that really stand out for me. But yeah, there were some really amazing, lovely figures in there. And as you say, they just look like the animation models. So nice. For me, my fifth choice is weirdly a toy line that I don't have a huge number of them now because I got rid of most of them. Only sort of primes and stuff left, but that's the same for most lines. But it's a line that I really enjoyed collecting at the time and had a lot of fun with, and that is Armada. Some really fun toys. It was good to have a nice, slightly different take on Transformers again, that wasn't so sort of beholden to sort of a G1 aesthetic or a G1 sort of background, although it sort of crept in a little bit further down. And again, I wasn't massively enamored by the toys when I first saw them, sort of advertised in magazines. But then when I got hold of, I think Megatron was probably the first toy I got hold of in that line, and oh boy, that's an amazing figure. It's
That really
so
is.
nice, so fun. It's got so many fun features, and that's what was really great about this line. It was gimmick filled and wonderful. And I got most of the Decepticons first. It was sort of Starscream, Cyclonus, and Megatron were some of the first ones I got, and they're just awesome, awesome figures. So much fun, so much playability, and they're really good fun to collect. And yeah, that is one of my absolute favorite lines of all time.
And it gives us a Unicron toy.
It
Like,
did,
as much
yeah.
as I continually said, I was negative about Mother for so many years. I've got so much more appreciation for it in the last 2 or 3 years. But the one thing you'll never be able to take away from it, gave us our first Unicron toy, and
Yeah.
that was an amazing toy, to be fair. So, no, good choice, good choice. Right, we're going to move on then. So, we're going to move on now and try and do our top toys. I say try and do our top toys. I've already changed mine during this recording because I'm like, it's so hard to pick. So, we've went for 10. So, this is official. Hasbro and Takara. So, there's a debate, conversation to be had at some point in the future about where does third party official fall in. For the purposes of this, we have went with Hasbro and Takara's because they are transforming Transformer toys from the people who created the whole damn show. So everything else we have put into third party. So third party is then official, unofficial, whatever. So that's our opinion, and it's only our opinion. We're not saying you have to agree with us, but it
No,
just we're trying to make this a little bit easier. I don't know if we actually managed, but and what was really surprising when we're doing this, and you are all but hear this, it wasn't just 10 Optimus Primes
no,
from you. I was
absolutely amazing.
shocked. So let's kick off. So similar to the toy lines, I think there's a big aspect when you think of the toys. It's not that are always the best toys.
No.
It can sometimes be what they mean to you. And for that reason, I am putting in as my number one Fortress Maximus. For every reason I've talked about before, I could do 4 hours of talking about Fortress Maximus toy. Firstly, it is an incredible toy. My opinion, it's the pinnacle of G1 toys. Like it does so much so well. It's huge, it's big, it's a double headmaster. It was rare. It was hard to get. Like it was a holy grail for so many people. Then they did the encore. I mean, we've heard the story of me getting the encore figure. I'm not going to get into that again. But I just absolutely love it. I have the same affection for it when I pick it up now and same like wow factor as I did when I got it, you know, 11 years ago. Like it just is crazy. There's not many toys have that same still feel. So there is no toy that could top it for number one toy for me.
Yeah, I completely agree with him. He's a really great choice for you. He's not my first choice, but he's not my first choice because I've never owned him.
Yeah.
I've only handled him once around Dave's. Um, so yeah, I don't have the connection to it that
Mm.
you do. But it is an amazing, amazing figure, and I do not blame you for having him as your number one. Um, for me, I had to go with the OG himself and go with G1 Optimus Prime. He's not my first Optimus Prime. We've long gone over that, and I've only recently got hold of an actual decent version of an original one since the one that we had as a kid. But he was the toy I wanted the most. He's the toy that I have multiple different versions of, and he is and always will be a toy that I can get out of the cabinet and just play with. I love transforming Optimus Prime. He's just such a nice fiddlebot. He's he looks amazing. He doesn't look anything really like his animated counterpart, but he's just ah yeah that, yeah. I can't really. I just he's awesome, and everybody should.
It's a perfect first choice, especially
Yeah.
for you.
Hmm.
I found it incredible hard. I've not put him in my top 10, and I found it hard not to, um, because he is just so good. I had him as a kid. I loved him as a kid, but I kind of cheated knowing that you would put him in. So I take a kind of gamble on that. So let's kick on to my next one then. So I have went with Masterpiece Soundwave. I think Masterpiece Soundwave It's my favorite iteration of Soundwave. I didn't have G1 Soundwave as a kid. I didn't get a G1 Soundwave till early 2000s. So I don't have that. It was always my favorite character, but never had a toy. I always was enthralled by the idea of the toy with the tapes. When the Masterpiece came out, I absolutely just thought it's an incredibly highly detailed, fun toy. It fits the G1 cassettes in it. The Takara release was number 13, and number 13 is my favorite number, so it felt like they were making that for me. They obviously were. And I just absolutely love it. And I have three versions of it now, just so that I can always have one close by to transform. So I've got two on shelves and then one that just sits around to be transformed. I've transformed Masterpiece Soundwave more than I've transformed any other toy in my collection. So I can't. How can you not have that in there on that basis? I've transformed it more than I've transformed a G1 Soundwave.
He's amazing. I had him as I got the Hasbro reissue version, well, the Hasbro release rather, of him. He's an absolutely cracking figure. And yeah, you can't beat him. I don't think. I haven't actually played with Acoustic Wave, but I'm assuming he's not quite. I mean, he's
Eh,
probably better in some respects, but
yeah, I think he looks better as a robot. He
mm,
has the ability to transform into, with changes to transform into the toy version of Soundwave as well. Both look amazing. But MP Soundwave does that fantastic thing that not all Masterpiece do, and that it is a great fun transformation.
mm,
You don't need instructions, you can actually do it without any stress, and
mm,
it's just enjoyable. The My second favourite of that, 'cause it's not in this list, so I'm going to throw it out, and I know it's not in yours, MPO1. Like
mm, mm.
MPO1, in my opinion, is the best Masterpiece Optimus. It's not the best looking, but it's still wows me in terms of it's fun. It's got cool gimmicks where it's like its legs, the wee kind of flaps open up with stuff. It's just beautiful. So MP Soundwaves has that back bit of it looks outstanding. It's also fun, and that kind of sometimes gets lost, especially with Masterpiece and with third party. That it's a fun transformer.
Yeah,
Anyway.
yeah. No, I can't disagree with you on that. He's a great figure. He is definitely one of my top five sell regrets from all of the toys I've got rid of over the years. Maybe I'll get another one at some point. Now, surprisingly, my second top bot is G1 Soundwave. Who was my second favorite G1 figure. I didn't get him brand new. I got him second hand, probably sort of late 80s. He had I got him with a Buzzsaw and a Frenzy. Rumble. It was blue. Rumble. Rumble.
Oh,
Rumble.
Rumble.
Um, and I got it off a mate. And I played with that figure to death. He was missing quite a few of his accessories. I don't think he had the back clip. And he had one of his launchers, but not his other gun, and all of his missiles were missing. And then I got various reissue versions of him after that. He's just a great, again, like Optimus Prime. He's a simple transformation. He looks amazing in both modes. He's got a decent amount of posability for a figure of that age with that complexity of transformation. He's just a great figure and was only bested really by the MP version. And yeah, if I wasn't collecting Optimus Primes, I'd be collecting Soundwaves and my collection would be smaller and I'd be less poor. Next.
Okay, right, let's get into some kind of ones that we've talked about a wee bit, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. So the first of stuff from really from my top five, and it's RID 2015 Warrior Class Drift. I have just such an affection for this toy. It genuinely is a fun transformer. Again, in terms of like something that I've transformed a shed load of times. Warrior Class Drift is right up there. I've got two of the original color scheme. The only one I don't have, and it's just because I never really hunt for it to pick up, is the Takara Adventures version of it. But all the different versions, the Blitz version, the Blitz. Blizzard version, just beautiful. It's a great toy, fun, easy transformation, looks cool in both modes. Brilliant.
Yeah, I said before he was one of the ones that I had from that range. He's a really cracking figure. Looks awesome. I love the sort of samurai look for him and everything. He's just a really sweet figure. I don't have the same affection from you do, but he is a nice figure. My third one. As you say, you had MP. Well, you thought about MP01. I was trying to decide whether to go for MP01 or MP10, and settled on MP10. I think because it was the first one that was slightly scaled,
Yeah, yeah.
and also that mold has just not died somehow.
No.
I mean, I've got 9 or 10 different variations of it, and that's
And there's more than
barely,
that as
yeah,
well. Like it's
that's
just
yeah, exactly. Barely scratching the surface on that. And it came with an awesome amount of accessories. MPO1 didn't come with the trailer until later on. And yeah, it's just an awesome figure. And there's lots of fun things. It's another, again, fun transformation.
yep. Yeah,
And
again.
he looks good enough uh to stand with all the rest of the masterpiece bots. Um he doesn't quite go down the animated route, which they hadn't quite started at that point.
Yeah,
But yeah, he's an awesome figure, and I love him. Next.
great choice. So I'm going to go with animated leader Bulkhead. It just Bulkhead was a great character in the show, a great addition to the Transformers lore, great fun toy with an electronic gimmick that was really clever, and that it came with a headmaster. You press the button without the headmaster on, it was Bulkhead's voice. You press put the headmaster on, and it was. Oh my goodness, I had his name in my head a minute ago, and I've now jumped out. The kid who is the headmaster in the show, it changes his voice, and it's just absolutely fabulous. I think I'm on my third, just from first one the batteries leaked, the second one I gave to Jamie, and then I'm on my third, and my youngest keeps eyeing it up, so I might have to buy a fourth at some point. But I love it. It doesn't stress me having to buy another one because it's just such a good fun toy.
Yeah, again, some of the animated stuff I had, some of it I didn't. I didn't have the animated leader Bulkhead. I did have the Voyager class one, and Bulkhead's such an amazing, fun character and such a great addition that they made in animated. So yeah, and that is a really good toy. Um, my next one is my first Transformer, which was G1 Blue Streak. Had to put him in there. He is again one of my ultimate fiddlebots. My original is long since defunct, but I do have a reissue knocking about, and he's one of the few figures that I will always have stuck on my shelf, regardless of what I do with my collection. He's just something I always need to have, and other versions of him.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. And I'm going to follow you up with a very similar one in G1 Gears. Again, I actually have two G1 Gears, and I don't know which one is my first, so I will never get rid of either because I don't know. But G1 Gears was my very first Transformer. He is therefore the most important Transformer in my collection because he was the bit that made me go, "Oh, this is something special. I like this. I'm into this." And I have always that wee bit of affection for him because he's great to collect because there's not that many Gears robots out there. So having a complete Gears collection is fairly straightforward and fairly easy compared to Optimus Prime or Fort Max or Soundwave or all the other stupid things that I think that I would like more of. But yes, G1 Gears.
Yeah, no, again, awesome choice for the same reasons I chose Blue Streak. So yeah, cannot fault you on that one. Again, bear in mind, everybody that's listening, this is our top 10 based on our own opinions and, of course, how we feel at this exact moment in time. So
Yep.
this is all subject to change, as was my next choice, which I just deleted one and added a different one. Um, uh, my next choice, though, is it's to do with my favorite version of Optimus Prime, because Optimus Prime. And again, it's my first Optimus Prime was Power Master Optimus Prime. However, more connected to my friendship with my mate and our development of our appreciation for Transformers. He had a Takara release figure, which was one of the parts of Leo Kaiser, and he had a manual for it, and it had Godmaster Optimus Prime, which we had no idea what that was, but it was Power Master Optimus Prime with extra bits. So that was released over here as Apex Armor Optimus Prime. But my choice is actually Fire Guts Ginrai because that is my one of my absolute favorite toys. It's the eHobby exclusive version of God Ginrai. I'm never going to get that right. Let's
No,
go with
I'll say Jin, right?
I'm going to go because I want to.
Go.
Uh, uh, Fargas Jinrai, because yeah, it's an awesome version. It's a rare toy that I have, and I really like it. And it's bright orange and looks stupidly amazing.
Gorgeous.
I
And it
absolutely love it.
sickens me that you keep putting it in the background of your videos because
Oh
I
yeah,
just look
no,
at it going,
that's
oh my God,
yeah,
that's so pretty, so pretty.
yeah.
Because I have this, I don't, it wasn't my, I don't say it's my favorite, but Power Master Prime is one of my absolute favorites. Like, again, could easily put it in the top toys. I tried to kind of not be, not obvious, but it was like trying to be really, I wanted to try and have a wide range of stuff in it,
Mm.
but easily could have put that in there. I am very jealous of the Fire Guts Genrai. It just looks beautiful.
I need to see
Genrai.
some
I've
videos
just
on it.
did it because you said Genrai.
Yeah, Jinrai.
So I went kind of similar theme in terms of taking something that was awesome and doing a recolor to it. So my favorite character from Transformers the movie was Hot Rod. I had the Hot Rod toy. I certainly had a handful of the original G1 toys, but I had a G1 Hot Rod and absolutely loved that toy. I have had numerous Hot Rod toys over the year because I just picked them up. But I think the one that has just wowed me so much and is just so pretty to look at is the retro colored hot rod. When they announced that, I was blown away. I ordered two going, I need one in box, and then realized the box is not got a window in. So I've got a box one that's just a box one that doesn't really need to be a box one. I could easily put an empty box there, but I couldn't sell it because I'm like, I want to keep. Absolutely beautiful version of it, and I hope they do a retro colored Optimus Prime. I think that would be beautiful to see as well.
Yes, yeah, no, it's a great choice. That particular version of the reissues is it's been such a delight. There's been some really
Yeah,
nice figures in there.
I agree.
Um, I'm going completely differently. It's a figure we talked about recently, but it is the first Titan class figure that was released in the Chug range, and that is Thrilling 30 Metroplex, which, in my opinion, is still the standout of that range because of not only is it a cracking figure, but because the whole anticipation of it coming out, the
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
seeing it in the shops in this enormous box,
yeah.
the fact I could actually go out and buy it at that point, which was nice. There are better ones. Scorponok is obviously outstanding, and I really like Triptychon. We spoke about this recently. Let's not go over
Yeah.
same ground again. But that figure, it's an absolutely stonking figure. It's got such presence, and I really have had a lot of attachment to it. Uh, right, sold it. But yeah, it's yeah, that's my choice.
Following up in a similar vein again. Feels like I'm just following you up with the next couple aren't like that, but and I'm going for Thrilling 30s, and I felt I needed a Thrilling 30 toy because I think Thrilling 30 for Legacy. We talked about how good Legacy was. For Legacy, I thought Thrilling 30 was the best time to be a G1 collector. In terms of G1 aesthetics, I thought the stuff that was coming out for the G1 kind of characters was just great. Great fun, new versions. So I went for what I think is the best of the Thrilling 30, but I could change my mind tomorrow easily. It's, Thrilling 30 Sandstorm, just so much fun. Just crazy three modes, great fun transformation, looks brilliant, and similar in the aspect of just kind of knowing it was Nick Roche that was involved with that makes it even better for me. Like I
Yeah.
just love the toy, love the character, love Nick, so a really good pick for me.
Yeah, it's bonkers to think that that line is over 10 years old now. Considering
I
the
suppose, yeah.
yeah, considering how great those figures were, the complexity of some of them, and some of them are still the definitive versions
Mhm.
of those characters. I think Sandstorm is a good example of that.
Yeah.
Yes, the new version is more G1 accurate that came out in Legacy, and the G1 one is obviously the OG, but that Sandstorm, and I'd even argue the Springer,
Yeah, yeah.
that are the same figure effectively, are the best versions of those characters. Um, my next one, I thought I'd delve a little bit into the movies. And my favorite Optimus Prime from the movies, figures at least, is the Revenge of the Fallen version of Leader Class Optimus Prime. It's just a really, really nice version of that toy. The one they brought out for the 2007 version, it had its it had its good points, but it also had a lot of flaws. It was very
Yeah.
chunky in places, and the posability was a bit naff. But the thrilling the sorry
Revenge of the
Revenge
Fallen.
of the Fallen version was just such a much nicer
Agree.
figure, and also combined with Jetfire to create the
No,
Jetwing Prime. That's
uh,
awesome.
it's
Love
a
it.
great choice. I would agree with you. It's the best movie Prime we've had.
Hmm.
I think it's a great toy.
Yeah.
Absolutely great toy. Oh, great pick. I'm going to go on Optimus Prime.
Ooh.
So kind of following for you. I am going with Robots in Disguise Optimus Prime. I love, as I said, the Robots in Disguise stuff. I love the fact that it was one Prime, then he made a better Prime, and then he became Omega Prime. It just the so many bits on it. It's got electronics. It's got just, and it was a new taking on Optimus that was very different to what we had in terms of going at the kind of fire engine, but just absolutely fabulous. A great fun toy, and one I absolutely love.
Yeah, it's an awesome figure. I love it. I've got a few versions of it. I've got a few third party versions of it. I'm looking forward very much to the HasLab one that's coming out. I
HasLab, yes.
I remember seeing pictures of the Car Robots version back in the infancy of looking up Transformers on the
Yeah.
internet, and when I discovered via these message boards and whatever else that the Robots in Disguise version, the Hasbro version was coming out, I needed it, and I remember first seeing it in Toys R Us and had to have it immediately. It's just such an amazing figure. I love it, and very good choice. My choice is a bit different, and one that you might not necessarily expect from me. Is a Beast Wars toy, but it is not an Optimus Primal. It is in fact Beast Wars Megatron, the original version, not the alligator, but the T-Rex. Um, Again, it's probably not the best version of Megatron. We had a conversation about this
Yeah.
earlier, and it's probably not the best Beast Wars figure, but I have such affection for that toy. It's a big, stupid, doofy purple dinosaur. It it looks silly, but it's also just really good. I love the robot mode. Um, I love his slightly daft expression on his face.
Yeah.
Downside, obviously, is the weird claw tail thing, but who cares? It's just a figure that I've loved for ages. I still have my original version, which is rare for me, especially seeing as it's not a Optimus Prime.
Oh, that's a better character. Uh, so I couldn't resist.
I mean, done
Yeah,
Primal, yeah, probably.
we talked beforehand. The Beast Wars Megatron's a great character, like just brilliant character, and all three toys are absolutely stonking toys. So
Hmm.
no, a great choice, great choice. Okay, so my next one is has the kind of same vibe as my first choice, which was the Fortress Maximus in that kind of Grail status. Um, and again, this one is probably a big part of it's also down to it was the kickoff to what is now me owning Primetime Toys. It was part of a conversation Greg and I had about joining and supporting and helping him out for a wee while. And my payment was a HasLab Unicron. I didn't think I would ever get one. I just kept not looking at pictures because I was like, I'll never own this. I absolutely love the thing to death. It's just huge, imposing. It's brilliant. I just absolutely love it. It's terrifying to transform. It's not one I'm going to sit and pick up and transform every 5 minutes. Not a chance. In fact, I've only transformed it once. I do have the kit to separate to do two because I was like, yes, I'll definitely have space to do two at some point in my life. I definitely won't have space to do two. But it's just in planet mode, it's just stunning. Greg and I keep ours in separate modes so that we both can enjoy each mode without having to have that aspect of having to. So he keeps his road mode. But I absolutely just love it. It baffles me that we actually have a Unicron toy like of that scale and is that
Yeah,
size. It's just crazy.
it
Oh,
is.
as your posters collapse. It's so shocking that your posters have
It
decided that
was
they're like, yeah,
absolutely stunning. That's good. What an excuse to get rid of that poster.
the
Um,
Star Wars realized that a Death Star was nothing compared to Unicron and just went, yeah, we're just leaving. We'll
Yep,
just exit the building now.
that is exactly what happened. Um, Haslam, yeah, Haslam Unicorn is again one of my top five figures that I'm going to regret getting rid of.
Yeah,
Probably number one, to be honest. There was various reasons why it did go, but it is honestly such an amazing toy. And we are so just fortunate that it happened.
yeah,
Uh,
agree.
yeah. My next one is surprisingly, it's an Optimus Prime, and this time I have gone with a figure that has single-handedly been the figure that I changed my mind most dramatically about, and that is Armada Optimus Prime. The reason for this is A, I've got a lot of affection for the figure. I got it on my honeymoon. There's all sorts of things to do with that. But the first time I saw it, I absolutely hated it. And I continued to hate it for a really long time. Even when I saw it in the cartoon, I hated it. But then I eventually decided to get one, and it's become one of my absolute favorite toys. Not only is it a really good toy full of fun gimmicks, yes, it does not pose at all in robot mode. There is like you can move its arms and that's it.
Yeah.
And there's been various versions that have come out that are much better than the original. But that original figure, the fact that you can combine it with other toys, the fact there's so many different fun variations of it, it's one of my absolute favorite toys. Love it.
Right choice for what it means to you. For me, I'm going to go with what I think was the best of the Beast Wars Transmetals, and that is Depth Charge. I absolutely love the toy. I just think it's so much fun. It's a, I do. I recognise that the older I got, the more I wanted big, more fun toys. And Depth Charge has that. It's kind of got its three modes. It has the shooting ability of the discs. I do think that there's a bit of a depth charge, but with Rampage, because the two of them together are just
Mm.
fantastic. So it's a kind of depth charge with Rampage, a kind of sneaky 10 and 10.2 almost, because they're just fantastic. The pinnacles, are they the pinnacles? I'm then saying that and then thinking to myself, actually, then we get no, so easy. Honestly, I love a transmittal so much that it was hard, not hard to pick one because depth charge is my favourite, but it was hard to exclude the others. So that's my final choice of our official top 10. Your final choice, sir?
My final choice. I did change this up a little bit earlier because I decided that something was a little bit too new and a little bit too close for me to actually have an objective opinion about it. So I instead suddenly realised that hanging back at the back of my shelves here is one of my absolute all-time favourite toys, and that is Beast Wars Neil Dart. He is a Triceratops that turns into this doofy, chunky little bot with a really angry looking face. His has his tail as a missile launcher that looks like a weird poop maggot, I think is what Thew referred to it as. He can move parts of him so his eyes move and his tongue sticks out. He's the epitome of daftness that was Beast Wars Neo. I got him after seeing Thew doing a review of him. One of the first videos of Thew I saw many moons ago. I bought him because of that, and yep, love him. He's just a chunk of doofus awesomeness.
Okay, so I think it's really interesting because you said there that something was too new. I so close to putting Missing Link Optimus Prime in there.
Mm,
Easily could have been persuaded to put it in there. I chose not to, mainly because I think there's an affection for the rest because of you're kind of probably similar, maybe. You've had them for so long and they've been in that kind of favourite feel for a long
yeah.
period of time. I do expect if we were to do this in 10 years' time, Missing Link Prime will be in there.
Oh,
But it might not be. I might go back to actually G1 Prime's got more affection than Missing Link. Missing Link's so I have so much affection for it because it's taken something I love so much and made that a little bit better. So therefore, surely my love for Optimus Prime is that I don't know. So anyway, so I could easily have put that in there. So let's go on then to our third party bots. Now, again, reiterating, this is not just unofficial third party, so we have got some official stuff in there. More so you than me. I kind of did actually just go, but that's not a negative against official third party. It just, again, I could have done a 15 or 20, but I kicked off. So I'll kick off. And interesting enough, this was not on purpose, but I picked the same character at number one for both. And my number one for a third party is Perfect Effect Warden. I absolutely adore that toy. I thought it was amazing at the time. I've got two iterations of it, one with the upgrade kit, one without. I then also have I finally got the Brave Max version at TFN last year. Just a great version of the toy. It's got a big weight to it. It can transform into a head for the original Fort Max toy. Just cool ass toy. And I very much have one of my favourite third parties of all time, easily.
Yeah, I mean, we know you love her Fortress Maximus. Yeah, he's a great figure. I cannot argue with that one. Um, we may as well do your second one and my first one at the same time, as they appear to be the same
They
toy.
are, they are. Which
Um,
again could have easily been my number one. I could have switched into number one. I probably isn't just because I've only had him for 2 years, so I kind of went with it. Warden's been my favourite since I got him, and there's never been a third party I think is better. This next choice is the closest there has certainly been to that.
yeah, he's what can we say? I remember seeing this figure at TFN. They did a third party sort of preview thing that I think Ben had something to do with, and it's a Fans Hobby Power Baser. It's an absolutely incredible, incredible version of Power Master Prime. Power Master Prime is my favorite Optimus Prime, and this is my favorite version of Power Master Prime. Although technically, my favorite version of Power Baser is the one that you really want, the Fire Guts version, the orange Power Baser, which I've only recently acquired, and I haven't opened it properly yet. But it's one of it's my favorite figure because I
Yeah.
love Fire. It's just amazing. It's again, you've got the God armor to make it God
And that
Genrai.
was the first my first experience of getting that was with the God Armor reissue.
Mm,
Was that just before TFN, just before, or just after? So thankfully I had taken a second God um, Power Baser so that I could do both because I just think it's fantastic. I also threw the comic head onto Power Baser to give them the Marvel
yeah,
G1 comic look to it. I think that's absolutely brilliant. It's it does that aspect at the size of Power Baser, and Power Baser is a big toy. It's
mm.
still a fun, intuitive transformation. It's not perfect. It's not a perfect
Oh
transformation,
no,
if I'm honest, but it's a damn good, fun transformation. So a
yeah,
great choice for your first and my second. So
yeah.
we're back to you then for your second.
Yeah, sure. Let's do that. My second choice is the Allure Resources Atlas, the Captain America version. So, if you're unfamiliar, it is a upscaled version of MP10 to ridiculous levels. It's about nearly 2 foot high. It's an absolutely ginormous piece of doofy amazingness. And then inexplicably, they decided to repaint it blue and brown and red and white and make it into Captain America, complete with a gigantic metal shield. It's absolutely bonkers, absolutely crazy, and I love it to bits. It's sat in my shelf above me. They're great figures. They transform exactly the same as MP10, only with the fact that it's ginormous and almost actually really difficult to transform because it's so heavy. There's so much metal in it that it's almost impossible to do because it's so big. But anyway, yes, love it.
Brilliant choice. My next one, I'm going to go with Fans Hobby Armada Megatron. I didn't have the same love for Armada that you did. The only toy that I thought was brilliant when it originally came out was Armada Megatron. I did still get rid of it because I just got rid of all my Armada stuff. I then subsequently bought it and I rebought some other ones. but the fans hobby version of it is just fabulous. It's big, it's such a posability about it. It's a fun transformation, like a proper fun transformation. It's not dissimilar to original, but in a masterpiece kind of scale. I could have probably picked more Fans Hobby in this list. I think Fans Hobby became one of my top third party toy lines. I just think they do really good fun toys. Armada Megatron, and I have no real desire for any more than Armada stuff. It's just Armada Megatron. There's something special about him, and the Fans Hobby version is just fantastic.
Yeah, no, that's another great choice. Again, I spoke about Armada Megatron a little bit earlier. He's an absolutely amazing figure, and Fans Hobby done such a fantastic job on them. Again, all the Fans Hobby stuff, all the stuff I've got, all the stuff I've played with is just so nice. Has such lovely takes on the characters, and yeah, a lot of love for that line. My next one is by is of Optimus Prime. Surprisingly, the third Optimus Prime. Most of my third party stuff and most of my third party experience has been with Optimus Prime. So I've tried to mix it up a little bit, but yeah, no. So my favorite version of all the different um, sorry.
Optimus Primes.
Optimus Prime's is multiple scale Optimus Prime's is the Transform Element
Yeah.
TEO1, and my favorite version of that is the translucent one. I did a video for it on Things on Plastic a while ago, years ago, and my love for that toy is evident. It is such a lovely figure. It's on my
Yeah.
translucent shelf behind us. Yeah, it's great. I love a translucent bot. I love that version of Optimus Prime, and therefore, yeah, love it.
Brilliant choice. My next choice is MMC Carnifex. Again, a toy that I absolutely adore. I think it's got such an imposingness about it. It just comes right off the comic screen. It's their take on Overlord, and I absolutely love it. There's just something special about it, and we got one in a trade maybe about a year and a half ago. And remembering the fact I've had this on my shelf since it came out, I still get excited reopening that box and seeing it and going, "This is just so pretty! Like it's so pretty." So that's my next choice and my favorite version of Overlord in toy format.
Yeah, he's an absolutely cracking figure, and again, I think MMC is my second favorite in terms of the third party. I just love the look of the figures and the feel of the figures. They're just a really cracking set of toys, and yeah, good choice. My next one is the New Age Arc that they brought out. It's basically a non-official Lego Autobot Arc backdrop that you can display figures on, and it was so much fun to build. It looks so good. It's not quite good shelf. There's not enough room on my shelves to put it on and display figures with it. So I use it for backgrounds on my videos and stuff like that. And it's just a cracking figure uh, set. And it comes with a blue translucent version of Optimus Prime, the David, which was until recently one of my other top tens, but I've changed it. Yours.
So I'm going to go then with Toy World Infinitor, which has also had a re-release as Zeta Ford, and it is a Legends, but it's not really Legends. It don't really massively fit in with the rest of the stuff, but it's a kind of Legends scale version of G1 Fortress Maximus, but with articulation. It is just so much fun. I have too many versions of it to really admit to. I have bought too many, too many. They also Toy World also did Grant, which was their Grand Maximus. Didn't do a Brave Max. Zeta Toys who are now. So it was Toy World, then Zeta Toys, and then it's Mod fans have done the most recent reissue. Mod fans have teased the Grand Max version, and I'd love for them to do a proper Brave Max. Because it's brilliant. It's such a fun toy. It has all the charm of the G1 Fort Max in a small scale, but also has the ability to articulate far better. It's got better knee joints and kind of swivels and stuff. Great fun toy. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, it is a cracking figure. My next one I changed because I had Toy World David down there and was like, no, I've literally just done him on the New Age thing. And you have to remind me what this guy's called.
So he is Mod Fans. Oh, I can't even think what
Yes,
his
yes.
actual name was.
But anyway, it's Modfan's version of Masterpiece Roller, but
Ruller,
Ruller. That's it.
Ruller.
There we go. That was it.
Because I kept saying
Uh,
roller in my head, and I was like, that's not right, because that's obviously not right. But
yeah,
yeah,
Modfan's Ruller. He's awesome. We picked there's two versions. There's
there's
more than two
three.
versions now.
I
There's
think
two
there's only
versions that
three.
I have.
Yeah,
There's a red and blue one, and there's a silver one, which are sort of work well with the different
yeah,
versions of Masterpiece Roller. He is just a cracking, fun little
yeah.
toy. We got
Yes.
him at TFN last year. I nabbed both of the different versions that they had, or you guys had, we had. And yeah, he's just a fun transformer. He
Yeah.
transforms really well. He looks really cool. He's really superposable. He's really weighty, and I love him. And I don't know why I didn't put him on my list initially.
Yeah. And I think it actually, like, there's a bit of the what it means. That was a kind of one of the hot toys at that
Mm.
TFN, and
Yeah.
that was our first big TFN trading. And it was kind of fun that people were, oh, I've seen this in the bar, I need to come and get it. We sold out, or we thought we'd sold out on the Saturday, found more upstairs in the room, which was great fun. Brought it back down and sold it again. It just showed you how popular it was. So, no, a fantastic choice. I can see why you'd have it in there.
Yeah.
So my next one, then I'm going to throw in a company that could, again, like Fans Hobby, could be one of my favourites, and that is Transart. They produce the Transmetal Beast Wars figures and Fusors, but they are Transart Rat Trap, which I can't, Dirty Mouse, I can't remember what his name actually is. He was the first one I got. I watched our friend Arrowfire's video and went, "Oh, this looks kind of good." And I literally opened it and went, "Oh no, I'm in trouble." Because it just was like, this is fabulous. I, at that point, went, how do we make sure we can stock these going forward? And how do I go back and get the other ones? And it's just a great fun toy. Very similar to the original Rat Trap and the kind of way it works. And some of the other ones are like that. The recent Silverbolt's very similar, but it's just scale, prettiness, and the Transart give you the coolest accessory, and they give you for some of their figures white gloves because they know that chrome takes fingerprints. So give you white gloves because they understand that, and that just baffles me. So good fun toy.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've got the
Optimus.
Optimus. He came with white gloves. I forgot about that. I'm now going to move slightly into the other side of third party, not the unofficial stuff, but an official third party. And this choice is a figure that honestly blew me away in so many ways. And it's anyway, Robosen flagship Optimus Prime. Um, it's just incredible. Uh, some of the other ones that have come out since may be better, but that's only because their understanding of the technology and how they've
Yeah,
progressed has become better. And we'll probably get a Robosyn flagship Optimus Prime 10
he's
when they do a
yeah,
new version of him.
man.
But yeah, he's absolutely incredible figure. It's so much fun to just get the app up, play with it, or shout at it, do whatever. Great toy.
Okay, so my next choice, I went back and forward on which paint version to go with, and I decided to go with the alternate because there's just something cool about it. So it is MMC's take on Predaking. Feral Rex was the first version, and then they brought out Nero Rex. The Nero Rex is just something gorgeous about purple and black combined. It just has such an the toy itself is great. I genuinely Feral Rex is one of my absolute favourite versions of Predaking. The black and purple, which I didn't really want at first. I was like, I don't need that. And then the first time I ever saw it in person, I thought, nope, I didn't need this in my life, and I never regret it. It just is absolutely stunning. But I could have easily flipped between either or. But I thought go to Nero Rex just 'cause it's a whole little bit different to the other Predakings I've got. Too many Predakings. Predaking's one of my favourites, so the Nero Rex stands out against the others.
Um, yeah, I mean, I said before, ONC stuff is just gorgeous. And yeah, Feral Rex is amazing, and Nero Rex just such lovely colors. My next one is actually also an MMC figure, and it's not Optimus Prime. It's MMC Culture, which is their version of Tarn. I remember getting him and just playing with it. It's what I love about MMC stuff is that it's third party stuff you can play with. Some of my experiences with third party prior to that were toys that you definitely could not play with. You could not transform it. You could not just
Yeah,
have it as a
yeah,
fiddle bot because it would break or it would cause you to have a bit of a meltdown. But this toy is just so much fun and so good to look at. It's such an imposing piece of kit. I love it.
fantastic choice. I am going to go with a toy that I swithered on because I wanted a six shot in there, and I was very close to an MMC six shot in. And he is cool. There's so many funky things about the way he works. Like he's got the kind of hubcaps for his wheels turn to throwing stars. However, I went with the X9 Hanzo because I just think he has such a presence about him. His beautiful colours on him. It just looks absolutely wonderful as a masterpiece version of Six Shot.
Yeah, yeah, he's a really great figure. There's so many nice versions of Six Shot, but that is definitely one of the absolute nicest ones. I'm going to sidestep again to normal third party as opposed, sorry, official
Special.
third party, and it's a figure we talked about before, so I'm going to be very brief. But the Super 7 Reaction Unicron is it's just so much fun. It's might not be the only way we're ever going to get a G1
Oh,
style
that's nothing.
Unicron, but yeah, it's just when they announced it, I was like, I need that, and then it got cheap everywhere, which was really nice. I think it's still £5 on Toys for a Pound if you want another one.
I don't
But
need
yeah.
another one. I don't. I don't.
Anyway, gorgeous figure. It's so doofy. I love it.
Yeah, and I think we talked about it before, but the wackiness, the fact that we got that prototype in some form is just crazy in the first place. So that's a good choice. So I'm going to throw another Transart in now with Transart's take on Tarantulas. So Transart Rat Trap was the first one I got and has specialness for that because it just was like, oh my god, this is so good. I think Transart Tarantulas is the best toy they have produced. Tarantulas was such a good character, and the irony was, I think that Transmetal Tarantulas is potentially the best of all the Transmetals. It's not my favorite, the depth chart, but I think Tarantulas was one of the absolute best toys. I thought they don't need an upscale; it just needs to be upscaled. But they take it upscale, make it bigger size, but they do so many wee tweaks as well that just make it just an almost perfect toy.
Yeah, yeah. Transmetal to Transmetal Tarantulas rather. It's such a great figure. It has so many just fun features, and it was probably the most solid of those figures that had three modes, and the three
Yeah,
modes actually made sense and were decent. And yeah, the Trans Art version, oh, it's just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Um, I'm sticking with third party official, and I am going with one of my absolute favorite toys of this year, which is the Yolo Park AMK Pro Series Optimus Prime, but the translucent version that just came out over Christmas. The figure itself is absolutely brilliant. I love it, and I've talked about it quite a bit already in other episodes. So yeah, we'll just leave it at that. It's amazing, and I haven't actually made it yet, but it's my
I
favorite.
mean the AMK Prime, the normal one's just fabulous.
Yeah.
So I'm confident it'll be a really good choice. So my next one is a weird one because it's my favorite Fans Toys toy, and yet they're doing a new version, and I'm like, I don't know. So it is, of course, Sovereign. I think Fans Toys Sovereign is the best Galvatron we've had in any format. I just think it's just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I've got the M version, which is kind of more movie version, and it's just stunning. Don't get me wrong. Listen, Sovereign 2 is going to come out, and I am going to be like, yeah, okay then. have this as well. Thanks very much. I know myself. I know that once certain other GM who used to do Primetime Toys gets his, that I will have to have mine. But it was a toy that I would, if you'd asked me of all the fans' toys, what was the last one they needed to improve? I'd have said Sovereign. I'm shocked. The only thing that makes me think that they've done it is because I think there's a Rodimus Prime down the corner and they want to do a Rodimus to go with the Optimus. Sorry, a new Galvatron to go with a new Rodimus, which if they do that and it then is going to look better with a Rodimus, I'm okay with that. That will make me very happy. And I will certainly then be I need to have this Sovereign 2.0 in my collection. But we'll see.
It amuses me. No, first off, Fansoy Sovereign is an absolutely cracking choice. Really, really nice figure. Lots of the different colored versions as well. The toy version looks absolutely
Yeah, I
gorgeous.
haven't
Uh,
picked one of them up yet. And now I think this is giving me an out and going, I could do that because I could just do that as the first release mold. I don't know. We'll wait and
yeah.
see. We'll wait and see.
But it does it does amuse me that you have this sort of sect of the Transformers community who are third party only because all Hasbro and Takara do is keep bringing out the same figure again with new colors and everything else, and then you have fans toys that's probably the most elite of the
Yeah,
uh,
I guess.
of the third party, and now they're doing exactly the same thing. They're just reissuing and repainting
But
and then
yeah, it's funny because
remolding.
the Hasbro folk do the same with, oh look, New Age have done 7 versions of that same mold. Oh, look at them, look at them. And then you go, how many Grimlocks have we had from Studio Series? Like both sides of it are there to make money. Like
Oh
it's just
yeah.
say, I would be surprised if Robeson do a third Optimus Prime because remember they have done two. Like they could easily do a third. Like every company is there to make money. Anybody that thinks they're there to do it are they doing it for charity? No, they're doing it to make money. So commercial decisions will override all the things that we think are sensible. If they think people will buy it, whether you like it or not, they're going to produce it. Whether it be Hasbro, Takara, Fans Toys, New Age, Robeson, whoever.
I am actually shocked that Robosen haven't done a Nemesis Prime.
Yeah, there is a wee bit
I
of me
suppose
thinks Robeson going to go down that recolor route. Anyway, we've talked on enough. Let's that's a controversial topic for a future thing.
my last one and my last official third party. This toy I read about, got really excited about, saw pictures of it, got really excited about. I went to the shop on day of release and queued before they opened to get this on a work day and took the morning. I took a couple of hours off work in order to go to the Lego shop to buy Lego Optimus Prime. And it's it is not the best version of Optimus Prime by any stretch of the imagination, and there are definitely versions of Optimus Prime in Lego or fake Lego that I have seen that blow it out of the park. But being able to go into the Lego shop and buy an Optimus Prime figure and making it, and I love Lego. It was one of the all-time top 10 purchases. Yeah.
Good choice. Good final choice for the artificial. So that's been our top 40s. Some absolutely fantastic choices in there. Some that I almost did was what he put in a slide for top toys we now need to go and buy. But I don't really want to do that because that just enforces us on we have got so many things that we have talked about for over 40 years that it's like now on a list that should never have been on a list.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Uh, there's so much we could have talked about. This has actually gone over what we intended, but that happens every time. Such is life. But anyway, so we're going to wrap this one up now. This is this week's episode. So thank you for watching, and remember that we do these videos every week as a way to enjoy our hobby in a new and fun, exciting way. The only thing we ask from you is that if you enjoy our content, take a moment to subscribe, like the videos, and help our channel grow so we can keep doing this, although we probably will do anyway. This is our chance over the last few videos to really reflect over 40 years with Transformers as a whole, and the real end conclusion to our first regular series on Primetime TV of the Transformers 84 to 24, 40 years of rolling out. A show that in the year the brand's 40th anniversary look back and delved into the vast history of Transformers. Thank you for watching.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.